Hi, it's Anisha. And if you're new here, welcome. In this channel, we talk about how we can be in better connection with ourselves, with each other, and with our community. Letting the goodness and the lightness in. So I want this video to be really soothing. So please grab a blanket, grab some tea, just feel so at home. This video is supposed to not exude any stress. Maybe I'll come out passionate sometimes, but I really hope that this is just for you to wind down after a long day or a long week. So this prompted me because I'm a huge perfectionist. I can place a lot of expectations on myself, and no one really needs to prompt me to have high expectations of myself. I just am a perfectionist. And I was going to give into this pressure to be successful, to be perfect, to be maybe even pretty, have the perfect body, to have the perfect amount of money. And then I read a quote by Aldous Huxley from Island. That's one of his books that he wrote. And he says, "It's dark because you are trying too hard. Lightly, child, lightly. Learn to do everything lightly. Yes, feel lightly even though you're feeling deeply. Just lightly let things happen and lightly cope with them. So throw away your baggage and go forward. There are quicksands all about you, sucking at your feet, trying to suck you down into fear, into self-pity and despair. That's why you must walk so lightly." And I read this quote a few years ago, but then I read it again, when you're needing that quick dose of reminder of okay, this is actually what I'm here for. That's exactly what happened. It made me realize that all the expectations that I've had in my head were never really mine. They were never mine to carry. Not the shame, not the guilt, not the fear, not the anxiety. They were learned from my past or from society, from expectations from other people. What's funny is that those voices, it's like a parrot. We mimic those voices in our head. The expectations that we've learned, if that makes sense. And what's so funny is that I absorbed all of these when I stopped playing outside, when I stopped just having fun just for the sake of having fun, feeling like I have to have a minimum capacity of goodness. And what's so funny is that over time I did learn that I must have a certain capacity to feel this amount of goodness, because if I feel too much, then it's unsafe. It's unsafe in my body to feel that way, or maybe I'm not worthy of feeling that good. And I think a lot of us carry that. It's part of our society. And this reminds me of a quote by Dr. Gabor Mate. He says, "This society traumatizes a lot of people by its standards. The so-called illnesses and dysfunctions are very often normal responses to what fundamentally is an abnormal culture." So as I'm in social work school, I'm already seeing this all over, with what I'm learning, that a lot of these systems are set up for people of power or people in power, and then there's people who have privileges and the people who are oppressed by the other people who have the privilege, right? And we know this is as tale as old as time. We have the power to step back and then release all the narratives that were never really ours in the first place, and then finally let the goodness in, let the lightness in. What's so funny is that we expect our capacity to be strong, to be successful, to be anxiety-free, without ever thinking we need to expand our capacity to feel goodness. And I realized that feeling good, deeply good about yourself, about the world, about other people, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't negate all of the bad feelings, like the anxiety and the sadness and the grief. It actually increases your resilience to handle really tough life stuff. And if you're gonna chase the bag, if you're gonna go I don't know, start a business or go into creative endeavor, you need to build the resilience to handle rejection, to handle the ups and downs of just what it's like to have that sort of responsibility. And it reminds me of The Growth Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, and she's a Stanford psychologist who basically says that there's people who have fixed mindset and there's people who have a growth mindset. And people who have growth mindset are not afraid to make mistakes. They're not afraid to get back up. Well, a fixed mindset, they think that they have a limited amount of capacity to really grow. And whenever they make a mistake, they're just like, oh, I'm not going to try again. Or, oh, like, this really defeated my ego. Like, I'm not going to do it again. And I read this a couple of years ago, so maybe I'm botching it. But it really changed my mindset about how I thought about approaching problems, how to solve problems. Like, if you think about it, kids are so creative and they're so playful. And that's what I love about being around kids, is that their laughter is so, like, contagious. And when you're around their lightness, you're reminded that, oh, wait, like, life is not as big of a deal as I thought it was, or maybe I'm taking myself too seriously. So, how do we expand our capacity to feel so good? And last week, I was questioning this because I was meditating, and, I'm honestly so lucky to be where I am right now. Like, I will tell you, years ago, it was really dark for me. And to be here today, like, having such great friends, putting myself out there on dates and then creating like what I love to talk about. With this connection, I've learned that I had to retrain my nervous system to feel good, because I expected so much anxiety. I expected unpredictability in certain situations, but it never really trained my resilience the way that I thought it did. Like, for example, like whenever I handled maybe an unpredictable situation, I would get really overwhelmed, and then I would numb myself, maybe just by watching TV and, eating lots of chocolate. And, it's not bad at all, but for me, I knew it felt dysfunctional because I just know my body, I know my mind, and I can get overwhelmed easily. That's just how I am as an overly sensitive person. But then I realized that having this mindset of feeling lightness, feeling goodness when you're handling situations, when you're going to achieve your goals, it's a sort of like buffer between the ego or the adult self, that learned that you have to make X amount of money, you have to be a certain way, you have to, like, I don't know, maybe excel and reach the expectations of your family, of your parents, whoever, society. And I had to know that it felt safe, literally in my body, to feel so good. Like, beyond good. Like, it felt so weird to feel good, that good. I realized it did make me more resilient because it increased my problem solving skills. Also, another way that we can feel so good is literally connecting to nature. Nature has given us abundance for millions of years. I mean, we probably weren't existing for millions of years, but you know what I mean. Like, it has been going through ebbs and flows itself. It is a delicate ecosystem. It is so intelligent, and it always plays. The wind always picks up the leaves, the flowers are growing, you see animals just playing with each other. I mean, yes, there is really traumatic things that happen in nature, but there's also good things that happen in nature, just like in human nature. Also, connection to others really has expanded my capacity to feel so good. Just yesterday, I was not really feeling so great. I fractured my foot like a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of stuck at home-ish, and I haven't been able to like move my body as much as I wanted to. And I noticed that my body gets really tired throughout the week. As I'm in grad school, I have my internship, and I'm working as well. But then yesterday, a friend visited me, and I don't know what happened, but I had this mindset of, just let the lightness in, I'm like, okay. And I made a damn ass charcuterie board, and it looks really good. Like, I even like put flowers all over it too. And I made cha for us because she's never had cha before. And oh yeah, I have my cha here too. I should probably drink it. And yeah, like, just having conversations for about, let's see, I think we talked for like 3 hours, but we both felt so comforted and so at home, and it felt like our little children came out to play with one another, and it was just super sweet. You need people to remind you of who you are, to remind you of who you are at your core, not giving into the anxious thoughts. This could even be like being with family, being with your chosen family, being with your community. Connection really does remind us the values that we have, and it shows how strong we can become and grow within those relationships. Hence, we expand our capacity to feel that lightness, to feel so good, because why the frick not? And also what helped me too recently is setting up an alarm on my phone. maybe at like a 12:20 in the middle of the day, asking yourself, are you expanded or contracted? And that check-in, like, when you're going through day to day, like I get it. I have like tasks back to back. Like my Google Calendar is full. And so having that just kind of brings me back into the moment and realizing that I can be just where I'm at. Another strategy that has also been helping me is monotasking. Like in the morning, I don't go on my phone. Like I used to scroll a lot, but I'm like, this is wrecking my mental health. And so I had to stop that and just disconnect from my phone in the morning. Just maybe journal, listen to meditate, drink some tea while looking outside. That has really helped me as well. I hope this really helped you. I'm also still absorbing this. I'm also learning this as I'm going, but I have a journaling prompt for you if you'd like to work on it. Just not homework, but self-work. So ask yourself, how can this goodness, the lightness that you tend to feel, guide you during really difficult situations? Or ask, how can the lightness guide you today? What does it want you to embody? What energy does it give you? How do you carry yourself into your day? How do you approach problems? How do you create? How do you interact with people around you? How do you interact with the world around you? So to end this beautiful video, I want to remind you of just how deserving you are to feel so good. You are so deserving to feel good. Like, just because you can, just because you're here as a human being. When did we have to deserve to feel good? So to end on a great quote by Aldous Huxley, again, just a little tie the bowing of the video. He wrote that love casts out fear, but conversely, fear casts out love. Not only love, fear casts out intelligence, casts out goodness, casts out all thought of beauty and truth. I hope you have a beautiful day, night, evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye.